going on, Jerome's? When Minnesota Vikings star running back Aaron Jones, he saw the light. He's been baptized, came to the right side of the river. You knew that he was going to be a major part of the Vikings offense, but we've been saying since the jump, you have to ration his touches because Jones has never been a full-time bell cow running back and has had injury issues in the past. And do you want him fresh in October or in January, February, right? But yeah. All right, so had that hip issue against the Jets, was ruled out pretty quickly, and had the wrap on the hip / hamstring / ass area, and frustrating, yes, as Jones was putting up some numbers against the Jets, but it sort of is what it is, right? And he was having himself a great game, and the Vikings offense are moving, and there's a very clear demarcation after Jones was out. Offense just sort of hit a standstill. Now, yes, respect. The Jets are still one of the best defenses in the league, but Ty Chandler, I love him, but things just weren't the same up front, and it did compound things because Jones getting some work, getting some yardage on first down. All of a sudden, you have second and short versus second and long, and then you have third and short versus third and forever. And the Vikings offense really was at a standstill because of Jones. Now, it's a balancing act. I understand that you want to use him because he's been fantastic, but you got to ration those touches, right? And get Chandler more involved in the offense when he's not fumbling things and all that stuff, right? But some initial diagnoses. The veteran, this is from Pro Football Talk, veteran Aaron Jones left Sunday's 23-17 win over the Jets with a hip injury. Initially, he was questionable to return. Then he was ruled out pretty quickly at around halftime. Initial word is that by the time the Vikings return to action after the Week 6 bye, Jones should be good to go. Gessling, Strib, Kevin O'Connell talking after the game. Quote, I just know he was kind of feeling early on and tried to work through it as it started to take a turn. Hopefully we avoid something major by getting him out there. And it could have been something that might have been lingering, whether it's the hip, whether it's a hip flexor, whether it's hamstring, whether it's groin, whether it's just general tightness. Now, obviously he was limping around on the sidelines, looking pretty unhappy. So maybe it's something that had been lingering and then was exasperated against the Jets. Don't know, but it's also possible that they pulled him and ruled him out before this turns into something that instead of minor inconvenience heading into the bye could have turned into a multi-week potential injured reserve situation. And then Rap Sheet on Good Morning Football today, quote, it didn't seem like a major injury on its face. Well, it's his hip, not his face. There's a real chance, depending on the MRI, that Aaron Jones could be back after the bye. So everything does seem pretty rosy right now. And, of course, so it's a double-edged sword where on the old Twitter machines, there, especially with fantasy football, there's a lot of medical professionals who offer their opinion. Now, it's a very educated opinion, yes, but also, they just see what we see. Right, and their diagnosis is shooting from the hip, pun intended. Edward Porras, DPT. I don't know what any of these letters stand for. I assume it's physical therapists, down to physical therapists. I don't know. Aaron Jones hip potentially groin strain given he was trying to stretch his abductors on the sideline. If truly a groin abductor strain, mean of 14 missed days, which would benefit since Vikings do have the bye. Median 18 days. Age and history doesn't help Jones. The bye comes at a great time. #Skull. And Jones has been phenomenal through the first 5 games of the season, averaging 4.9 yards per carry, as well as been great as a receiver. Plus, on the receiving end of that, Nick Mullins, F it ball against the Jets. It's a hell of a catch by Jones. There's been a handful of catches by Jones where not only is it good for a running back, it would be really damn good for a receiver too. Plus his pass protection has been great. His influence as a leader has been invaluable as well. So obviously he's a great part of this team. Now running back depth wise, it's pretty thin. So they let go of King Kenny and Wangu. Cam Akers decided to sign with the Texans. And you got Jones, you got Chandler, who Chandler's been really good in spurts, and then some spurts not so much. All right, so C.J. Ham got a rushing touchdown against the Jets. He's also very solid pass protection. You notice him more and more in 2-minute drill, which speaks to their trust in him as a receiver and pass protector. And they got Gaskin, who is a solid do-it-all veteran back down on the practice squad. He is out of practice squad elevations, though, maxed out at 3. So, TBD what's going to happen there. And then you got Xavier Scott. So, It could be a situation where there's going to get results from MRI. O'Connell's probably going to talk to the local media jackals today about the injury, but do the Vikings look for depth elsewhere? And do the Vikings trade for Cam Akers again, like 2 seasons in a row? Last year they traded for him from the Rams, this year from the Texans, because once Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce get healthy, and also it seems that they like Dare Ogunbowale a little bit better than Akers. I mean, Cam Akers is still a solid all-around running back and a good pass protector, has a little bit of juice coming off that Achilles. They reportedly were going to sign him around July 4th, but then Cam, his prerogative, took his talents to the Texans. Maybe we'll bring him back, and it won't cost much, probably just a late-round draft pick swap. Well, why not? Or there's a certain running back on the Cowboys practice squad right now. It's just like, yoink. I don't know. Like that. On its face, it doesn't make sense, but also I feel like Dalvin has more juice left in the tank than he showed for the Jets and the Ravens last year. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Not saying, I'm just saying. But your thoughts are thoughts. Updates on the Aaron Jones hip injury. A lot rests on this MRI. Hopefully it's something minor that can be worked out over the bye week, and he's at full strength or close to full strength week 7 against the Lions. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You know what to do. Skol, production value.